Welcome to SUAANGAN. I'm your host, Janine Blake. On today's program, we'll bring you interviews with Inuvik's two MLAs, Roger Allen and Floyd Roland. Our self-government segment for this week is with Vince Teddy. We also have an interview with Barry Elanik from Parks Canada, and we'll show you some of Inuvik's 1999 Volunteer Recognition Night. But first, let's take a look at the Community Corp elections that were held here in Inuvik on December 1st.
This just in. Hi, my name is Roy Wilson. I'm up here in Inuvik. The results are in for the elections today. For the Inuvik Community Corporation chairperson, the winner was Donna Kisoun. There were 3 directorship positions open, and the winners were Harry Elias, Frank Hansen, and Jerry Kisoun. And the last one was for the Inuvialuit Communication Society, and the winner of that was Joey Amos. Thank you very much, and have a good night.
Donna Kisoun was a successful candidate for the Inuvik Community Corp chairperson position. We spoke to her shortly after she heard the results.
I wanted to get involved with the Inuvik Community Corporation. I've been away from home for a while, watching what's been happening with the Inuvialuit Regional Corporation, and I felt that with the experience I had in the jobs, working in the communities and community development, and getting involved with Aboriginal organizations like Pauktutit Inuit Women's Association, I thought I had what it takes to become a chairperson and be effective in my community, and maybe address some of the concerns that our people are having day to day. Maybe I will, number one, I'll see what's on the plate at Inuvik Community Corporation. I'm not sure what they're working on at the moment, but I've talked to many people, and the number one concern that I received from our beneficiaries in Inuvik was the major crisis with education, training, and jobs within our mother corporation, IRC, and within the development corporation. I think with some partnership with other organizations in town, we can meet some of those. I guess maybe we can meet the needs of unemployment, low literacy, fewer graduates in our high schools, and maybe get more people in the workforce, more of our own people in the workforce.
Once again, congratulations. Now for our self-government segment for this week, Vince Teddy joins us to talk about principles for negotiations. Some of these?
Okay, the new government structures that presently is being proposed are at the community level. There will be a community government, and for the whole region there will be a regional government, and also included in government models is what we call Aboriginal governments. There will be an Aboriginal government for the Inuvialuit, that's at the regional level, and also for the Gwich'in there will be a Gwich'in regional government. So basically there will be those 3 types of governments, community governments, regional government, and then the Aboriginal governments, both for the Inuvialuit and Gwich'in. When we designed them and did our community consultation and leadership consultations, of course the inherent right was the major priority, was to ensure that the inherent right be implemented and be exercised by any form of government. The other principles that applied was, of course, the charter rights of the Constitution, and resources. People in the communities and leadership really wanted to make sure that we have the proper resources, the financing, and the able bodies behind these governments that are being proposed for the self-government agreement. The other thing too is also with financing is capacity building. People said, well, for these governments to take effect and to be a benefit to the people in the region is that we need training, and we need training as soon as we can, and that's what the 3 parties are trying to achieve right now, is what type of training capacities to build in today rather than wait until a self-government agreement is in place. So those are basically the ones that the people wanted to see, and also control. They wanted to make sure that these governments that are proposed that the Beaufort Delta, the community, the Aboriginal governments, and the regional public government, that the control of government will be there, that they'll be the government responsible for all the programs and services and be responsible for any type of government operations in the Beaufort Delta and the communities.
Okay. Next, we'll talk to the member of the Legislative Assembly for the Inuvik Boot Lake riding, Floyd Roland.
Well, I think that our campaign team did a really good job in getting our information out to the people. Worked with a good team to develop our information and presentation of it. We stuck to the policies and programs, being upfront with people. That we felt that the 14th Assembly would be as tough, if not tougher, than the 13th Assembly had to deal with, and that we needed leadership in place that would be able to be effective under pressure. I think for myself, my official agent, Sue Clarkson, who stepped forward to sign up as my official agent, and I had a number of other team members that worked throughout the campaign as hard, if not harder than myself in some cases, just trying to have things prepared for the different events. So we pulled it together really well. There's a lot of them, and I don't know if I'd be doing justice naming just a few, but there was a lot of people. We've seen them putting up signs, building signs, going in and talking to businesses and fundraising as well. It was an all-out effort, and I think, again, it shows that people of Inuvik were in tune with what was happening. Well, it was interesting results, and I was watching yesterday evening, seeing who would be new colleagues and how many of previous members would get in. So it was good to see that we have some continuity in the Assembly, but at the same time, it was good to see some of the new people get in. It'll bring new ideas, new energy to the Assembly, and I think we're really going to need that in the 14th Assembly. Well, I've told a lot of people during the campaign time when they asked me about the Twin Lakes side, I told people that I think I have a good ability to work with others. Roger's in there now, and I think by working together we definitely could use some different approaches when we talk about issues that concern Inuvik and Inuvik residents. I think we're a small community and we have to work together. That's the way I look at it. And I think, as we go through orientation and start bringing some of the issues to the table, that we can definitely complement each other. Well, I think the first things 14th Assembly members are going to do is go through orientation, similar to what we did in the 13th Assembly, but they're also going to go through some of the materials that we find or will find the 14th Assembly having to deal with. And I've spoke about it during the campaign. We've got some large issues out there we need to deal with. We heard a lot during the campaign and throughout the territories about education, health and social services. And one thing I kept bringing up, and I know a number of other members kept bringing up, is the concern of our lack of fiscal resources right now to meet a lot of the demands. So we're going to have to get together to sit down, to review what's before us, to decide what method do we use in trying to deal with the situation that's going to face us. Myself, I believe that we need to take a different approach than we did in the 13th Assembly. I don't believe there's the room anymore to look at straight deficit cutting exercise again. Yes, there's room to change in government, but it has to be done in a coordinated, well-planned manner. But I think as well we have to decide that can we as a government afford to carry a deficit, and how much can we carry? We've got some potential out there, and we have to look to those to a certain degree. But we also have to try and get a good reading of the landscape when we talk about northern resources, needing to work with the Aboriginal groups. We have to work as a team in the north to make a difference.
I'd just like to extend our best wishes to our other opponents. I think they've worked very hard and forced us to work even harder than we want to, but that's the way the elections go. And I'd like to personally thank all my campaign workers. They've worked very, very hard, and they were very supportive of our campaign. Well, we were really pleased. Historically, Inuvik Twin Lakes, normally called the west end of Inuvik, always had very low turnouts in municipal and territorial elections. This time we had 82% of people come out to vote. That was good. That showed that there was a lot of interest in the platforms, not only my own, but the other two candidates. So that was good. Then that's what we needed. We needed to have a lot of people come out. We're very pleased. I don't think there's any great surprises. A lot of the incumbents were re-elected, and there's some new faces in that replaced some of the long-term members. So overall, I'm very pleased with the makeup, and I've been talking to a few already, so that makes me feel much more comfortable and looking forward to the 14th Legislative Assembly. Well, I was on record in supporting the additional seats. As you know, I said it was probably the benefit to Inuvik and Hay River to have 2 seats. Going back to the question of working with Boot Lake MLA, we already been on the phone several times talking about common issues, and I'm sure I'll have to use him to help me through the orientation phase and understand part of the protocol, as well as understanding some of the procedures. So yes, I think that's very important. In terms of issues, we're quite on par as to what we believe in, what's needed for Inuvik. Not only Inuvik is the Trade and Commerce Center for Trade and Commerce here in the Mackenzie Delta Beaufort area, but also to look at having similar support, supporting both the MLAs from the Mackenzie Delta and Nunukput. So, you know, as a regional representation, sorry, I see that as being very, very progressive and very positive. Well, I've explained to and expressed my interest in working for the small business community. I think they in the past have been, I wouldn't say totally avoided, but somehow neglected in terms of getting the required support to develop meaningful jobs, meaningful employment, because there's high cost in Inuvik to do business. There's, as you know, there's seasonal construction, that sort of thing that we look at as in what happens in the down periods. So I think we have to develop some stability in the overall economic strategy, you know, and support the business. Because once the business has become strong and vibrant, that spin-off effect happens in the communities, and that's, to me, what I'll be working very hardly with, and then on very hardly, sorry. And the other thing, too, is I'm supporting education and looking at maintaining status quo and various other programs that's required.
Next, we have an interview with Barry Elanik from Parks Canada.
My name is Barry Elanik. I'm from McClavic. I got this job in June 1st. The interview was in May. I passed the interview. I was selected over 12 people. And we done first aid training first week. I got the job in June. And then it was out to Sheep Creek in Inuvik National Park for more training on maps and GPS. I help and assist the park wardens out in the field, like out at Inuvik National Park, and biologists, like getting gear ready for the trips and patrols down the river. We done a coastal cleanup this summer. We got about 60 45-gallon barrels, and that was all along in the park coastline. And I help with that and just assist the park warden on whatever he needs done. What made me decide to become a patrol person was I like being out in the land, like being out there. Parks Canada is a great agency to work for because they protect the land and animals in the Inuvialuit settlement region, and it was just an opportunity for me to enjoy what I like and being out in the land.
What kind of education did you have to go to or receive in order to become what you are?
You had to have a grade 10 equivalent or better. I'm on term, so, and you got to have grade 12 to become a seasonal worker, and a natural science diploma to become a park warden. And I had no formal training before this, so I'm on the process of doing that over the summer. I was taking training courses and whatnot. We've done whitewater rafting and rescuing, because we have rafters that go down the Firth River during the summer, and we had to learn how to search and recovery in case, like, if someone gets injured on a rafting trip, like companies. Private companies go out on the Firth River, and we had to learn how to swim in whitewater rapids. That was pretty neat, and it was kind of a very exciting time we had out there.
What kind of advice would you give a youth maybe that decides that maybe he wants to go into this kind of service? What kind of advice would you give that person?
Stay in school, get your biology, academics, get your academics up so you don't have to struggle in going into a college or university south or at the Aurora College, and just stick it out. Stay in school. You can go to any college in Canada or the States if you prefer going down south, but you can take the renewable resources course here or anywhere in the Northwest Territories. That'll help you get to become a park warden, and you just got to have a grade 12 and stick it out. We started our hike at Comacok Beach, and we finished at Sheep Creek. The hike took us 5 days to complete, and we're doing a route for tourists that might want to hike in the park. So we got the routes, coordinates, and whatnot, described what kind of land, like what kind of ground it is to walk on, like shale, or it's a lot of tussocks, or we explained that on the brochure that we're making now.
Did you guys do any marking of the trail? Or?
No markings. We never disturbed the land. Like, it was, we just hiked along and just got the GPS out, got the coordinates, put it on the map, wrote in our logbooks what we did that day, how long we hiked, and the time that we were out, the caribou were migrating to Inuvik National Park, and it was pretty unique seeing all those animals there. Like, this one day we on the hike, and then we just got over a ridge, and this cow just finished giving birth to a calf, and we seen the first steps of that calf. It was pretty neat. Just like, it staggered a little ways, and then it just galloped and started running. It was very unique to see.
A lot of animals on the trail?
Yes, very lots. A lot of bears. We had no rifles, and we just had bear bangers and bear spray, because we're not allowed to carry any weapons in the park. And this one morning, it was actually on Canada Day, a grizzly bear got into Edwin Knox, he's a park warden, got into his backpack, and we had to use the bear bangers and to scare it off. So that was pretty unique. It was about 7:30 in the morning. It was a good wake-up call, I'd say. Well, there was a hiker this summer that hiked from Margaret Lake to Comacok Beach.
Oh, the other way.
Yeah. And he was a tourist day. He just visited the park, and he wanted to hike from Margaret Lake to Comacok. The hike wasn't too bad. It just had to get used to the backpacks. Like, you're carrying all your gear, your camping gear, your grub, and survival first aid kits and that we're taking out in our tents. And the packs were about 70 pounds each. So it was about 65 kilometers we hiked in 5 days. And started at Comacok, then went up Fish Creek, then over a ridge. Then we got on the Malcolm River, and then from the Malcolm we went to Sheep Creek. So it was pretty unique being out there. It was most of the trip there was no rain and whatnot. It was fairly good on the wind side, but that one day we were on top of a ridge there, and the wind was blowing pretty hard. You just about got knocked over a couple times with the pack there. Well, first you have to go to the office here in Inuvik and register and plan out the day you're leaving, and then the end day that you plan to be back, because you have to register, and if you don't show up on that day that you're supposed to show up at your destination, we have to go out and do a search and rescue if you're lost or injured or whatnot. So, and you have to be physically able to do the hike or raft, whatever you want to do in the park. You have to be physically fit and be...
Why is that? The terrain is pretty rugged, or?
It's not rugged, it's just that you're so isolated, eh? Like you may not have a stat phone or a CB radio to contact someone, so you got to be wise out there because you're so isolated. You can't just go out and expect to be able to just go and do a hike, and you got to be ready for what's out there. Because when you get into the 20s and 30s, you don't struggle, but it's harder for you to get back into a program that'll help you get a grade 12 education. So just stay in school.
Dream Cell is a happy time for everyone in the world. Dream Cell has brought us beautiful TV. Dream Cell has brought us many beautiful itsy like. Children's Birthday is a happy time for everyone in the world.